Hi everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we dissect corporate filings so you don't have to. Today we're looking at Vivani Medical, and let me tell you, this report has a plot twist worthy of a medical drama involving stock purchases and some possible insider action. Think of it as a medical thriller but with spreadsheets instead of scalpels. Vivani Medical entered into a share purchase agreement, which is basically a deal to sell shares, effective in March of 2025. The buyer, an entity owned by Greg Williams, who happens to be the chairman of Vivani Medical's board of directors. So the chairman is buying a big chunk of his own company's stock. He's buying over 7 million shares at a price of per share. That last bit is important. It's the price the stock was trading at on the day of the deal, so no special discounts for being the boss. This deal is expected to bring in about $8.25 million for Vivani Medical by January of next year. That's a significant chunk of change for a company of their size. Now here's where it gets interesting. The purchase won't happen all at once. It's spread out over 5 dates through January of next year. Each closing and each chunk of stock depends on certain conditions being met. Think of it as a stock buying plan with milestones. No warrants or discounts were provided and no placement agent or investment banking fees were incurred in connection with this transaction. The company is issuing these shares without registering them with the SEC, relying on something called Rule 506 of Regulation D. Basically, it's a way for companies to raise money from certain qualified investors without all the red tape of a public offering. These shares haven't been registered, so they can't be resold to the general public right away. They're meant to be held for investment. This is why it is called a private placement and not an initial public offering, for example. This section doubles down on the private placement, confirming the sale to an accredited investor under the rules of the Securities Act, which means the buyer meets specific criteria for wealth and investment knowledge. The investor, Mr. Williams, says he's buying for investment, not for a quick flip. That's why these shares are not registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission and can only be traded through specific exemptions or registrations. Vivani Medical put out a press release about this $825 million private placement. This is pretty standard. Companies like to announce when they've secured funding. Now, this is also probably why the market already know about the purchase before this report was even published. Here is a share purchase agreement dated as of March 26, 2025, and the press release issued March 27, 2025. Then now let's step back and look at what this all means. The good Vivani Medical gets a cash infusion of $825 million. This can help fund research, development, and operations. It signals that the chairman is invested in the company's future, literally. The questions, was this a good deal for shareholders? The stock was purchased at market price, so there was no immediate dilution, but it does increase the number of shares outstanding, which could affect future earnings per share. Why did Vivani Medical need the money? Are they burning through cash faster than expected? What are they planning to use the funds for? The risks. Anytime insiders buy or sell large amounts of stock, it raises questions. Is the chairman buying because he knows something good is coming, or is the company struggling and needs a bailout from its own leadership? There's also the risk that the closing conditions aren't met and the funding falls through. Overall, this looks like a good sign for the company. It seems like the company is set on growing. This also gives the company more breathing room. As always with these reports, dig into it to see if you can find anything interesting that I may have missed. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe for more corporate deep dives. Let me know in the comments what company or filing you'd like me to decode next.